Okay, let's move on to Illinois. 5-7 a year ago. Pretty good season for Brett Bielema's opening year with them. 4-5 in conference, but no one predicted that. About 64th per F plus, 97th on offense, and 29th on defense. So yet another Big Ten West team that was a lot better on defense than offense. But they did a few things okay on offense, actually. Like their running game, I would say, was not terrible. Um, Quarterback play wasn't great, and they did bring in Tommy DeVito from Syracuse. So it'll be either him or it could be Arch or Sitkowski again. I imagine DeVito will probably win it out. And I don't think he was amazing. Like I don't think this is like some transcendent quarterback or anything. But at least maybe it's better than what they got from Art Sitkowski. And I think I can't remember the other guy that they lost who played quite a bit the last couple of years. The Michigan transfer, I can't remember him, but it did feel like their quarterback play was just a bit on the weekend the last couple of years. They did fire their offensive coordinator and hired Barry Lunny Jr. from UTSA, who just had a great season. So maybe that makes a difference with their offense too. The running backs Chase Brown and Josh McCray are good. And again, yet another team whose defense really surprised last year when they got rid of Lovie Smith, who was very predictable on defense, and they brought in Brett Bielema. They changed some things up. The win total is 4.5 here. Um, Obviously, probably the main thing most people remember about Illinois, like if you're a casual fan, not as opposed to an Illinois fan, there's a couple things. The opener against Nebraska, where they got Nebraska, and then the 9 overtime game against Penn State. Like those are kind of the two
Yeah.
national radar games. What do you think? Like, am I off base thinking that this is actually like a solid team with a shot to go bowling?
Teams that they can beat on their schedule. Well, the number's 4.5, right? So
Yes.
they can beat Wyoming. Chattanooga is almost a slam dunk, you would think. They can beat Northwestern. They're probably better than Northwestern. Can they beat Purdue or Nebraska or Virginia or Indiana? Like, yeah, like they can probably beat those teams. You could even, well, okay, they're not going to beat Minnesota. Never mind. But like they can get to 5. They can absolutely get to 5 if you beat Indiana, Virginia, Wyoming, Chattanooga, Northwestern. Those are teams you may be favored in those games. Maybe with the exception of Virginia. But
Yeah.
yeah, the I'm going to go over. Yeah, give me the over on Illinois. I believe DeVito has won this job. Has he not?
He may have. I apologize. I haven't been paying close attention, but most likely, I would say if he hasn't won it, he's probably the pretty clear favorite.
Come on, you're not caught up on your Illinois starting quarterback?
I have to confess, I am not. I'm sorry.
Brandon Peters was the guy that left
Yes.
last year. Yeah, that was gone. So Tommy DeVito, he was a former 4-star. Look at that.
Yep. That's
Former
right.
4-star recruit. No, it still is a competition. Still is a competition, and DeVito looks like he will be taking that one. So okay, yeah, that hasn't been announced yet, but it does look like DeVito will be the guy. So, do you know anything about like their weapons? Like, do they have like what kind of weapons they have?
It's running backs mostly. I have to confess, I don't know much about the receivers. I don't know that it's. I'm not saying it doesn't matter who their receivers are,
Mm-hmm.
but they're going to try to run the ball.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and they actually had a pretty good offensive line last year. They did lose 3 starters, I believe, so it could be a bit of a challenge to run it quite as well as they did last year. But like that's what they're doing. Like that's the goal, and then maybe their quarterback play can take them somewhere in the passing game. But I don't think that they're going to have some hugely explosive 1,300-yard receiver, and they're okay with that.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agreed. I think they'll go over only by a little bit. So yeah, I think not on a scale of 1 to 10 on confidence, it's like a 2.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll take the over for Illinois this year.
You know what I have written down?
Hmm.
Over with but zero confidence. so
Okay, so
yet
not even a 2. All right.
yet again we agree almost exactly. I think a repeat of last year's record is probably the most likely. I think it go 5-7, and I do think like if if they nailed the offensive coordinator hire, because UTSA was a really good team last year, and yeah, that maybe they actually go bowling, which would be, you'd have to consider that to be a massive success for Illinois football.
You think they almost went last year? They almost went last year,
Yeah.
and they went to, what was it? Maybe was it 3 years ago? Yeah, I know this was under the former coach, but I think they went to like the Red Box Bowl or Cheez-It Bowl or some,
Okay.
not the Cheez-It Bowl, Red Box Bowl. Yeah, they've been bowling like fairly. They're not just basement dwellers. So yeah. Okay.
By the way, I just want to mention real quick, one of their losses last year was to UTSA, who dropped 37 on them. So I'm guessing that's probably where they started taking note of UTSA's offense and decided to hire their offensive coordinator.
Fair enough.
Yeah.